back to Between the Ribs with Jonathan Morris on Florida Man Radio.
We were talking about during the break. Welcome back to Between the Ribs with Jonathan Morris, Heather Hippopotamus. We talk about everything under the sun and sun.
Yeah, we do.
But I wanted to tie this in. We were talking earlier about testosterone.
Right.
And enough's never enough. And I'm always looking at things and checking out these, like I've been into ashwagandha. I don't know how to pronounce it. Ashwagandha? Ashwagandha?
I don't know.
It's an African root. I started taking drops. I started taking lion's mane. Just different things that help clean out your body at a cellular level, as well as eating a lot of meat, a lot of beef, pork. I eat a little bit of chicken. I really don't like chicken, but I eat a little bit of it. And you asked me, why? Like, for me, as an older man.
Oh, the testosterone.
Yes.
Okay.
Not that I'm old, but as I age.
Definitely not old. I'm only a little bit behind.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is true or not, okay? I think it is true because I'm learning. I was always told you have to be careful. Now, our marriage is based in love, so, sexuality doesn't dictate the entire marriage like it does for some people. But the biggest problem in marriages, especially as they age, is men hit their peak 21 to 29-ish sexually, right? Like their endurance, I don't want to be nasty. I know a lot of kids listen to the radio, but they're the best of the best.
Those are their years.
But women don't really hit theirs until 35 to 45. Right?
Okay.
And not necessarily like freakiness, but like the best time to be like wanting it, doing it, engaging, completioning, those kind of. We're gonna be very careful on the words we use because this is an educational program, and I know kids, some families do listen to our show. And so I made a vow to my wife that I will not be the 40, 45, 50-year-old man that cannot fulfill every desire, need, whatever she has. Right? I will be there through her very aggressive cougar years.
The look I just got from her. Oh, that was awesome.
Yes. So I don't ever want to make anybody feel shame, but I spend a lot of time making sure that I'm on my game. I'm up to point. I'm up to speed. I'm ready.
Whole basket of vitamins.
Yes, I take vitamins. I take supplements, and yes, I do a testosterone injection. Because they say it helps.
But why? You have more testosterone than anybody in the world.
Well, okay, I got to be careful what I say because I don't want YouTube taking it down.
Right.
But they say that once you get above...
This is not medical advice. This is Jonathan's experience.
This is just an opinion with my life choices.
Okay.
They say that this is the medical establishment. They say that once you get up over 900 testosterone levels, especially into the 1,000, 11, 1,200 range, for long periods of time, it highly increases your chance of prostate cancer and then failure in your member and your parts down there because it's just too much. Okay?
Okay.
But if you go back to like the old days of the physical physique and the workability and the endurance and the stuff that men had prior to the world we live in now, their testosterone levels were through the roof. They were men. They were big men. They naturally had muscle mass.
Were they testing them?
No, but you can look at a body. You can look at someone's physique and tell how much testosterone was flowing through their body. All right, there's things they call them the BTs, where like men's chest can kind of get into a cone shape if they have too much estrogen and too much whatever, and their chest isn't as square as it's supposed to be. And some of that's fatty tissue. And then there's just other things. There's fatigue in the legs. There's cramping. There's no energy. It's not all sex, right? We wrap it all up in sex performance, but T levels are so, and your body's overall health, vitamin D, your selenium levels, just all the stuff you have. And then I found out, because I do a lot of study, and I study a lot on this, and I'd probably be able to speak better if I'd studied this hard on the English language, all right?
Possibly.
But I found out about cellular rehydration and cellular completion, that water makes things wet, but water doesn't necessarily hydrate. And then if your cells are dehydrated, and if your cells have toxics in them, and if your cells have, what's the stuff that causes heart attack and stroke, plaque, if your cells have plaque and other things in them where the cellular level of blood flow is not happening properly, you can't heal and rebuild as a human. So you lose muscle mass, you lose endurance, you lose energy, you lose focus in every aspect of your life, not just in sex. And that's why there's so many men that take testosterone replacement and they're like, it does a duty thing for me, it doesn't work, you know? Well, because you're just putting something into your body, but your body can't absorb it because you didn't clean it out. So like I do now a lot of folic acid and fulvic acid, formic acid. It's just a black liquid. It comes from a plant. It's plant-based.
But it's a folic acid.
It's a folic acid,
Okay.
but it also has fulmic in it, Fulmock or MOC.
I thought we don't absorb folic acid. We'd have to get folate. My brain just lost. I just lost it.
Keep talking.
No. Okay. So, yeah. So folate is the natural one. Okay. Folate versus folic acid. Folate occurs naturally in foods, while folic acid is synthetic. My body does not absorb synthetic
All right.
stuff because I know because my lack of thyroid, synthetic medicines don't work for me.
All right, I had to run to the cabinet to get this. I keep this refrigerated. Fulvic and humic acid.
What?
Fulvic and humic.
That looks like something you would get from the farm store for an animal.
Yes, this is for humans. It's dark black.
Huge.
All right, it's dark black. You drink a cap of it 3 times a day. It cleans out your cells, and it allows your cells to open up and absorb the stuff they need to create maximum blood flow. Again, not just for sexuality, but for other things. And then, like Heather said, yes. Can the camera see it?
Yeah.
This
and
is
they
my
can hear
basket.
it.
This is my basket. All right. I have valerian root, ashwagandha. I have hydraulic acid for your joints, and for fluid, I have lion's mane.
Hydraulic acid? Isn't that the thing
Hydraulic. It's great for your joints and for scars.
Okay.
Lemon balm, turmeric, shilajit, vitamin D, horny goat weed. 3 things I can't pronounce.
Silly goats.
Oregano, and then I started on this mushroom.
Reishi?
I don't know how to say the name.
Oh, okay. L-ergothione.
Yeah. So I was saying all that. Heather and I were talking.
I need to get you some elderberry.
So as a 47-year-old man, I will do everything in my power to make sure I am on command whenever Mama needs me on command. I will never neglect that situation. And it got me thinking and pondering, because I also read another study, and this is from like some Sex Health USA, magazine, institute, whatever. They study health and the ties of sexuality and sex to a person's overall health. And we're a farm faith family. So my brain starts pondering all this, and I came up to this conclusion. God creates things in a perfect manner, and he creates things for us to do in a perfect way, and it's perfection. And then people get involved, and they play God, they want to manipulate God, and they use the things and the blessings God has given us to have power over other people, power over each other, and it starts the underlining breakdown of marriages. Now, let me back up and say, according to the Bible, sex is for a man and a woman who's married only.
Right.
Okay? We believe that at Morris Family Farms. We teach our children abstinence. We don't do birth control. We don't do condoms. We don't have those talks. It's abstinence until you get married. Now, we're not naive that kids don't make mistakes and things happen, but we teach and preach and try to live a lifestyle that the marriage bed is undefiled. And Annabelle, go all the way out of the studio for this. That the marriage bed is undefiled, and that, well, only because she knows, obviously, she has had to talk about the birds and the bees, but there's a few things we're fixing to say that I don't necessarily want her hearing right now. So we know kids make mistakes, and obviously I grew up in a lifestyle of sin. I was not a virgin when I met Amy, but 2 things I want to point out. As a 47-year-old man, when people say if you could do anything different, what would you do? I would have never had sex with anybody before I met my wife. Because my wife now has maximum confidence, But there are still times today. Am I good enough? Am I the best? Do you think about so-and-so? Have you ever thought about something from the past?
Oh my gosh.
It comes up. It happens. It happens. All right. Especially after you've had 8 children and, you've got a life together and you work hard and, we don't always have time for hair and makeup and nails and, the stuff that most people put together with a pretty woman. Like my wife is drop dead gorgeous. I tell her all the time, don't waste the time on makeup and hair. Just get out of bed and let's go. Brush your teeth and let's do this. Right? I'm not one of them type of guys. I don't like fake anything. But if I could replace, and it's not a lot. I'm not trying to say my wife's very compulsive because she's not. She's very confident in us. But the times of our marriage that have been spent wasted on that, if I could replace that, that's the only thing in my life I'd change. Even all the bad stuff I've done, I'd still do it probably.
But you learned from it.
What do you mean?
You learned things
How
from
to be a
all
better
the
lover?
No, I mean from any of the bad things that you did. What's wrong with you? Any of the bad things that you did, you learned from it. Otherwise, you would still be that person.
You're right. So I found this study. Okay?
I'm ready.
There's about 30 days in a month, correct? We have a 128er. Well, we have 128er with February. And we have, 331ers?
Then there was that March in 2020 that was like 47,000 days. But yes.
We'll call it, we're going to call it an average of 30. We have a couple 31ers. We have a 28er, but we have an average of 30 days a month. Women menstruate. I wrote down bleed, but we're going to be nice and say menstruate.
You like to use real words. Okay.
Women have their period.
Yes.
For about 7 to 9 days.
Oh my God.
Correct? At the most?
I mean, yes.
No, what's yours?
I mean, like 3, but that's fine.
But I'm talking. Okay, but hold on.
Kill somebody.
All right, hang on. But I'm talking about like the cramping the day before.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, so think about the whole process, and I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
Think about the whole process of don't touch me, Billy. I don't want to be touched. My head hurts, my back hurts, I'm cramping, I'm bloated, and then there's like 3 or 4 days of bleeding, and then there's like, I'm not really sure because I just finished, so like back off. Right? No, we're adults. All right. So then there's a couple. So let's just say 7 to 9 days of the entire cycle of not feeling well.
Okay.
All right. There's a study out that for men who ejaculate 21 times a month or more have either such a decreased chance that it doesn't even show up on the radar or absolutely 0 testicle or prostate cancers. In a study of like 30,000 men, right, who on average...
Clearly these people don't have children.
Wait, stop. Think about it. Think about this. If you go back to the Old Testament, God talks about the 2 becoming 1. And I'm not judging anybody, so please no one take judgment to this, all right? But God gave us sexual health with a husband and a wife. And God says in the Bible, for women, do not deny your men the pleasure. Men, do not deny your wife the pleasure. And God actually looks at a woman or a man who denies their partner, and then that partner goes out and commits adultery. God actually judges the person who denied the sex as much as the person who went out and committed adultery. Read the Bible. If you were playing God with your vagina, or you're playing God with your penis and denying your partner, and then they go out and commit adultery, God judges both of y'all. It's in the Bible. And I'm not preaching. Listen, I'm not preaching. Right. But you figure 7 to 9 days a women technically can't have sex. And in the Bible, it's kind of cool that God
don't want to.
Or don't want to. God even gives women a pass. Do we need to take a break? Come back?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. Don't go past, though. I'm going to give you a pass for the break.
It's getting exponentially dumb.